Hi everybody, Assalamu alaikum. This is Learn English with Amna once again, and today I am going to ask you a few questions, and you're going to surely give me the answers. Maybe not directly to me, but in your thinking to me directly. So, first of all, I want to know from you that do you speak with a lot of pauses and hesitations? Do you have actually difficulty expressing your ideas in English? Do you mentally translate from the native language to English, but the sentences come out incorrect or unnatural when you speak? Are these the problems you are having? Let me talk to you about your problems. If you want to end up with these problems and become fluent in English, I am going to tell you the secret. Now, what is my secret? It's a secret for learning how to think directly in English. So, first of all, I want to talk to you about many English students say what. Usually, students say it's very difficult, it's too difficult, I don't know enough English words, I don't have enough vocabulary. I need to think in my native language and then to translate into English language. So the biggest problem with thinking in your native languages and translating them later on in English is that it results in sentences that are not correct in English, because when the grammar sentences structures are often different in English, your native language is quite different than of that. So also it takes too much time to think and translate when you are in a conversation, so leading to pauses, hesitations, and in the inability to speak fluently and fastly. So many students all over the globe believe that thinking in English is something you can only do when you are at an advanced level. But unfortunately, that's not true. Think directly in English. It's a skill that you can practice and develop at any level of your life. And you know what? Today I'm going to teach you directly how you're going to do that. Let's start with step by step and practice this, and I assure you are going to get success. So, how? We are just starting from the first ever step. So, I'm going to tell you how to learn to think in English. Now, step number 1 is think in individual English words. Now, I will give you some examples that you need to understand carefully. For example, when you wake up in the morning, think of the words like bed, toothbrush, bathroom, eat, banana, coffee, clothes, shoes. So then when you go to work, what kind of words do you think all of a sudden? Usually, you think of a car or a bicycle, however you are traveling. You think of your job. You think of the company you're working with. You think of your place to sit, means your desk. Then you talk about computer, what kind of a system you have and how it works. Moreover, you add up with paper and pencil, how that you have to jot down the few things that are important. Furthermore, you think about your colleagues and your boss, maybe how the day is going to be the one. So during all day, you continue thinking of the individual English words for everything you see, you hear, and you do. So this is an exercise I'm going to give you to do. Now, what you have to do, what the exercise is, think of a word out of these words and then decide what you're going to think furthermore on that word. Now is the turn of step number 2, thinking in complete English sentences. So what your next move is, your next skill to practice in thinking is thinking in complete phrases and sentences during all your day. Say, for example, when you're at a lunch, you can think of, I'm eating a sandwich, my friend is drinking soda, the restaurant is very good. So if you're watching TV instead, you can just call in these small sentences, and small learning leads to greater learning. So the actress is beautiful. The journalist has black hair. He's talking about politics. So it's okay if the sentences are very simple in the start. The most important part to practice and develop the habit of thinking in English is complete sentences in English. Now is the turn of step number 3, what you're going to do. Step number 3 is functional English. Next, you will imagine having to use English for everything that you need to do. After every time you speak in your native language, think of how you would say that in English. Say, for example, how would you buy a train ticket or order a drink in English-speaking country? You would say, a round-trip ticket to Central Station, please. Or, if you want to have some soda or some drink, you would say, could I have a lemonade without or with no sugar? So people out there, this will help you to develop your ideas of English in real life situations. And this will help you in your speaking and thinking powers. So if during this exercise you don't know how to do and how to say something, you can also do one thing later on after this. You can check a dictionary. If you do this kind of mental practice regularly, you will be able to develop the ability to use English in every kind of situation you want to. Next up is my step number 4. Now, narrative English means telling a story or speaking in English for a long time. It's best for you to exercise when you have some time, like when you're waiting in a line or in a queue for a public transport. Think of a memory or a story that you would like to tell in English to your friend. Tell the story in the head of in English. Why? Because you are only thinking, not speaking. You can relax and do best without all the pressure of a real conversation. So shortly in today's video, I want to say you can learn English. You can learn to think in English. I hope you can see that you don't need to be super advanced to think in English, and you can start today, right today. Try one of the 4 levels this week I have given you for. Say, for example, I have told you 4 things. If you're going to start one thing per week, you're going to improve incredibly. Think in individual words, thinking in complete sentences, functional English, and narrative English. Moreover, thinking in English is the best and biggest tip for increasing your fluency. And why is that so? It makes you more confident and helps you to speak more easily without any hesitation. So you need to do a lot of things, but like a strong vocabulary, clear pronunciation, listening skills, and the ability to understand the phrasal verbs, idioms you know in common in English. You can improve all your skills with these tips because we have many things and further on in our lectures to go with you. So these were my secrets of learning to think in English myself. I hope that if you're going to apply all these in your videos, in your thinkings, in your professional life, in your student life, you're going to think more powerfully. Let's see what I bring to you incredibly in my next video. Till then, take very good care of yourself. Bye-bye. Keep sharing, subscribing, and liking. Learn with Amna.